7 writing task is to write a letter referring Mrs. Lucy Clark, who was presented with complaints of central crushing chest pain that she has been experiencing for the last 1 week, which sustains for less than 15 minutes. Here, you are the charge nurse and you are writing this letter to the referral to Dr. David Smith, a cardiologist in the emergency department at Main Hospital. Let us look into the case note first. The name and age of the patient is important and should be mentioned in the reference part of the letter. You have plenty of information given under the different sections. Here, all the information provided are important and should be mentioned in the letter except a few regarding her residence and job mentioned in the social background. All other information regarding her smoking and drinking habits, medical conditions and her medical and family history, medications, provisional diagnosis and plan provided in the case note are relevant and shouldn't be omitted. Here, we can see some numerical mentioned in the examination part of the case note, which is not that important to mention on the letter and hence can be omitted. Taking all these points, we have to prepare a letter in an organized manner. Now let us see how we can write a letter with the help of a sample letter written by a candidate from Saudi Arabia. The format of the date written is wrong. Here, you should write it as 20 September, 2015. And the address and salutation written are correct. You should write the reference in a single line like RE, Mrs. Lucy Clark, DOB, 11/03/1951. Moving to the introduction, I write to refer Mrs. Clark, who requires an urgent assessment and management at your service as her symptoms are suggestive of unstable angina, which is neatly written. Moving to the second paragraph, Mrs. Clark presented to our general practice on 29/2015 with a 1-week history of chest pain which was radiated to the left arm and associated with dyspnea. He also had developed nocturnal dyspnea. Currently, he is anxious as he had believed had a heart attack. Here, we can see a gender change in the second sentence. The first sentence starts like Mrs. Clark presented, which is grammatically incorrect, and instead you must write Mrs. Clark was presented. The rest of the explanation seems perfect. One important point missing out from this paragraph is that the duration of chest pain, which was lasting only for more than 3 minutes on exertion, and should be added. The last sentence says she is anxious as she believes she had a heart attack. Here you have to mention the reason behind her anxiety, that is, she has a strong family history of heart disease, should be mentioned. Thus, the sentence will read as Mrs. Clark has a strong family history of heart disease, so she is really anxious about her condition as she thinks she had a heart attack, which would be much better. Moving to the third paragraph, Mrs. Clark lives with her husband and is a retired office clerk. He drinks socially. He has had diabetes mellitus, lipidemia and hypertension since 2001, 2003 and 2004 respectively, which she takes sitagliptin 100 mg, insulin Novamix 25 units, atorvastatin 40 mg and irbesartan 75 mg. Her mother has a history of acute myocardial infarction and died due to ischemic stroke. Here the first sentence is not that relevant, and more importantly we can see gender change again throughout this paragraph. Here you don't have to mention every single year of every single disease. Instead you can simply say for many years. Taking all these points, we can rewrite this paragraph in an impressive manner like Mrs. Clark, a social drinker who lives with her husband and has diabetes mellitus, lipidemia and hypertension, for which she is on regular medications. Moving to the fourth paragraph, pertaining to the above information, Mrs. Clark requires hospital admission for immediate assessment and further management as she is on serious risk of myocardial infarction. Here one information is missing, that is the doctor has to advise her serious risk of MI and how to manage it, which is very important and should be mentioned in this paragraph. Coming to the wind-up sentence, you have to mention the name of the patient along with the sentence. And then it becomes, kindly do the needful and do not hesitate to contact me for further queries regarding Mrs. Clark. The sign off written is correct. Considering these points, this letter can go for a score of 260. Thank you.
New method for OET learning. How are you preparing? Online or offline? For speaking and writing, you can get tutor reviews. How will you be able to manage your reading and listening? How can you manage your self-practice easier than ever before? Learn OET in Merlin's way. Most successful OET learning method from world's best online trainer. Chat now. mentormerlinexam.com